Hello guys, welcome to our channel. So in this video, we are going to see how we can create Git repo and connect with Visual Studio. Let's start. For this demo on GitHub, let's go ahead and click on sign in and let's put our username and password which we have created using in last video. And once we come to dashboard page, we have few options inside this dashboard page. Let's go ahead and click on create repository. And now we can give a name for repository. And I can give the name something like web app demo, where we will write something and do the demo in next one. We can provide the description which is optional, and then we have two options. Either this can be public and either private. So depending upon our need, we can select that who can see this repository, who can commit and other things. When we select the private, only limited set of people will see that repository, and in public, anyone on the internet can see the repository. So let me go ahead and keep that private right now. And then there is an option that do you want to initialize this repository? If you want to do that one, let's add a readme file, and then it says that whatever git ignore to do that one, which file you do not want to track and other things, then you can use that default one, or none, you can put that one. What are the license? If you have public, then there are licensing option. This is Apache 2.0, MIT and other things are there. How people can fork and use this your code, that settings we can do. Let's click on create repository section. Our first repository has been created. Right now only one branch main is there. We can go ahead and click on view all branch to see all branch. If you want to create a new branch, then we can go ahead and create the branch name. Depending upon how our branching strategy is there, we can go ahead and set up that naming convention and other things, and we can go and branching source also there from main generally, and we can create the branch. Right now this branch is not protected, so now once it is created, let's go ahead inside code and we can select our branch from here, and we can add the file or upload file, or we will see that how to clone into Visual Studio. So from here also we can add files, upload new files, or we can edit that one. And this is place where we can go and get the details for using from either we can open into GitHub desktop, or either we can use CLI, or we can go for code spaces and then do that. Code spaces we will see later. Right now I'm going to see that how we can connect this repository from Visual Studio. So let's open Visual Studio and let's clone that one from GitHub. So we can put the URL and other details. I can grab this URL and so I have to sign in with the GitHub account. So let me sign in this. Authorize GitHub. It is asking that one, authorize your Visual Studio. So I'm going to do that. Now authorization is successful. Now we can go ahead into Visual Studio. Now I can see my repository. I can clone that repository in my Visual Studio. Now I can see the readme file which was there. I can go ahead and change my remote branch. We created one branch, I can see here. I can change any file. I can go ahead and create any file or any code, any project. We can do that. We can add all the details. We can have a new project altogether. We can create. Once we done with our code and other stuff, we can go ahead into Git changes, and we can see that what changes has been happened. This is a few changes. Rest other changes I don't want to check in because this is related to Visual Studio. I know that I have make changes into this one. I can go ahead and compare with unmodified. I can see that I have added something. This is plus sign. We can see that this is new one. So I can add that to into staging, and the staging I can add that one, my first check-in, or whatever message we want to put that details with what user story and other things we are working. We can check in, and check-in right now locally is created. Now I can go ahead and push that changes to our user branch. So it is going to be user branch, and then let's go ahead and see into user branch. Right now we have got changes. Let's see that one, what is there. So I can create PR from here, but I will show you that first thing that what came into this commit, and then I can go ahead and see. So right now, if you see, main branch has only readme file, and if we click that details, right now we have software demo is there. Now let me change that one to my demo branch, and I can see that changes are there. And also with changes, if I go ahead into my demo branch, I have a new file over there. Now I'm going to create a pull request, and then I am going to submit this pull request here. And now this pull request is right now open, and it needs, if we have right now there is no approval and other things is set up on this branch and policy and that, so I can go ahead and merge my pull request with whatever. Now pull request is successfully merged and closed, and the user branch can be safely deleted. So we will go ahead and see the deletion. But now let's go to this branch, and in main branch now we can see that changes present. Now changes came to main branch, we pulled that request and completed that one. So this was one of the way to create the repository. We can create the repository from Visual Studio also. So from Visual Studio, if you go, we had an option to create Git repository or local repository. We can do also cloning and other things from Visual Studio. So now let's see what are the other options we have with GitHub to create repo. So we can go to explore GitHub. So we can go ahead and explore that great community over here, and we can go ahead and see that what are the trending repositories are there, which are the trending developers are there, and we can go and follow the developers so that we can see their updates. If we wanted to see, we can see their repository, what other developers are doing. We can read inside that repository what kind of the code they are writing, and we can learn that way also, that okay, they are writing this kind of code, we should also optimize our code, or lot of different things we can do. We can go ahead and suppose I like this repository and I like this idea and I wanted to extend that one, but I do not want it to commit inside that one. Then we can also fork that one and create our own repository inside our owner with a same name, or we can have different name, and we can create fork for that one. And whatever we are going to make changes, it is a copy of that original repository. So we can experiment with this one. This is another way to create repository. And also, if you follow that, you can go ahead and follow this developer, you can follow their project, you can raise the PR inside. If they are willing to accept your PR, you are making some changes, you can do that one. You are going to explore all the details, that what are the topics is being trending, what are the trending different things are coming, what are the different collections are there. And this is how we collaborate with the different developers inside different open source project, and we can contribute. So this is what I wanted to share with you today, and hopefully you are like this video, and I will make different videos on the GitHub.